Ladies and gentlemen, we have 98 hours to save THORnews. And I would sure like to continue to work through October, considering I've been talking about the possible oncoming hurricane that I've guessed is going to come to Crystal River or north of Tampa Bay around the middle of October. I've been talking about it since April. It looks like I hit Dorian with my mark. It was out to sea, so it didn't blow anybody's skirt up. But now the models continually show a major, massive hurricane coming out of the Gulf of Mexico and heading towards Florida around the middle of October. And most weather geeks are agreeing that we have a major CAG coming out of the Gulf of Mexico in the near future. Nick Hill, cry. There are two other disturbances we should watch over the coming week. The first is associated with the CAG that should set up. Systems from CAGs are very broad at first and need time to consolidate before they can develop. So we'll have to see if this thing does or it runs out of time. It's a Central American gyre. Yair. It's like gyro, but with the E. And as I've been saying, if this thing doesn't go over Cuba and threads the needle, we could see it as low as 898 millibars. We could definitely see it a major Cat 5, and we've had 6 Category 5s in 4 years. So that is not going to be, quote-unquote, out of the new normal ordinary. Lorenzo surprised everybody but me when it reached a Category 5, and now we've got 2 waves to watch. One with a 20% chance in the next 5 days of development, another with a 10% chance. And we are looking for it to come somewhere out of here. If we get lucky, it'll head straight out this way, but I think everyone in the Gulf of Mexico should absolutely prepare for a major hurricane somewhere in the middle of October, forming as early as the 7th and making landfall as early as the 11th. It has been my guess the entire time that it will come through here and then strafe up the coast. Although the front could pull it just straight out, or I could be totally wrong and we could watch this thing go west. So people need to be prepared either way. The Midwest is under a major flood watch and things have been quite a bit sketchy. And so by the middle of October, it could be pretty wild for a lot of people. So we are watching the latest GFS hot off the presses, which shows Lorenzo heading into England, United Kingdom, Ireland, and then followed by another major massive monster storm. We see our hurricane begin to develop around the 14th and then head north slowly around the 16th. And it doesn't look like I was too far off the mark in my prediction. I think everybody on the Gulf of Mexico side of Florida needs to be ready. Like I said, if this thing is going to be like a major monster, then it is going to be a threat and a danger to a lot of people. So every minute we get to prepare for this event is going to be very important. Imagine something that size or larger floating up into this region and then crossing over. Now, that has been my guess. I still think that's where it's going. I think everybody on the Gulf needs to be prepared. People in Cuba need to be prepared. You know, this is the waning hours, 5 hours left in September, and the clock is ticking because the GFS has been showing something major coming our way in about 2 weeks. And so this is a live drill. And as I've said all year, if this thing is going to be a Category 3 or higher, I would not stay in the way of its direct path. Now, it has a land interaction with Cuba probably, and the wind shear factor is unknown. But, so I would say prepare for a hurricane anywhere from Category 2 to Category 5. And based off the ARIS alignment, the Category 5 could be a bit of an eye popper. I mean, this is showing a major storm, and the eye of it with an incredibly intense amount of rain would be about the size of the majority of Florida. And so if we get lucky, whether it be good atmospheric defense ray guns, power of prayer, asteroid fight club, just dumb luck, it'll thread needles and go out to sea. But it's always best to prepare for the worst, pray for the best. And the Euro, which only goes out to the 10th right now, is showing some major signs of major storms for the UK, and some development not only coming off of Africa, but possibly coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. And remember, the big Azores high should be breaking down and pulling out to about here, so we may get an extra problematic issue to deal with coming off of Africa as well. I've been saying all year, October should be our stormiest month, and all signs are that is going to be totally correct. And so when we see one of these fronts coming out of here, like when this drags across, it should skyhook our hurricane and pull it to the Gulf of Mexico side. So it would be like somewhere here, and then it would pick it up and then drag it out. Anywhere from the 10th to the 15th, 16th, shall we say. And so I would highly recommend everybody be ready. This is from the 12Z run, also showing a major massive hurricane in the Gulf headed towards possibly Crystal River, North Tampa Bay region. So I will stay on this, covering it as well as I can. And I want to remind you, we got 98 hours to save THORnews. I do a fundraiser at the beginning of every month to pay my bills, and hopefully, I will get the $732 left to make it for this month, so I can cover this hurricane up to the minute. I've had problems with hackers and haters for like 14 days in a row now. Apparently it's like a gang war competition, and people do not want me to continue this excellent coverage, giving people advanced warning to the military, first responders, police, their families, women, children. I think I've done a pretty great American service. And so if you would like to contribute and donate, you can send a letter to T. Lewison, 5430 Birdwood Road, number 416, Houston, Texas, 77096. I got a PayPal link. I don't know if it's going through. Some is, I guess, a Venmo, a CashApp, a Patron. I got $732 to raise in about 97 hours, let's say. And I'd like to thank Kenneth, Athena, and Lynn. Every dollar counts. Every prayer counts. And I've done everything I can to work as hard as possible to figure this out. I think I got it, guys. And so, look at the size of this thing. This was the 12Z. The models continue to show something major, and signs point towards is definitely something we need to be prepared for. We saw what Dorian did to Albacoa Island in the Bahamas. Hopefully, the Florida luck will continue, but don't bet on it. Let us prepare for the worst. We are all in this together. God bless everyone, and thank you, everyone out there, for all your love and support. It has been crazy, especially the last 2 years, especially the last 2 weeks. And so, I put my hope and faith in God and Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit and Asteroid Bike Club. And hopefully one day, all this hard work and my good heart will pay off. Okay, stay cool. God bless everyone. Talk to y'all soon.